You booked a flight with your points, felt like a genius, and told everyone you flew for free. You didn't beat the system, you are the system. You're the product being sold, and you're bragging about the price tag. Because an airline barely makes a dime flying your broke behind across the country. The real money is somewhere you'd never think to look. So let me explain how owning an airline actually works. Start with the part you think is the business, selling seats. It's a brutal, miserable way to make money. Airlines have colossal costs. Jet fuel, $100 million planes, pilots, crews, gates, insurance, all of it burning cash whether the plane is full or empty. And they compete so viciously on ticket price that the profit left on an actual seat is razor thin, sometimes just a few dollars per passenger. Some of the biggest airlines on earth have gone bankrupt doing exactly this. Flying you around is a heroic effort to earn almost nothing, brokey. Lucky for them, that's not really the plan. Here is the twist that breaks your tiny brain. The most valuable thing a modern airline owns is often not the planes. It's the frequent flyer program, the miles, the points. There have been times when an airline's loyalty program was calculated to be worth more than the entire rest of the airline, planes and all. The flying part is almost a side hustle for the points machine. Let that sink into your smooth skull, The airline is a points company that happens to own some airplanes. So how does a pile of imaginary miles become the crown jewel? Because the airline sells those miles in bulk for real money to banks. Your credit card company buys billions of miles from the airline and hands them to you as rewards for swiping. So every time you buy groceries with that travel card, the bank is paying the airline for the miles it just gave you. The airline got paid real cash, the bank got you addicted to swiping, and you got points you think are free. Two businesses just made money off your spending, genius, and you thank them for it. And here's the truly beautiful, evil part. The airline invents the miles out of thin air. They print them. A mile costs the airline basically nothing to create, and they sell it to the bank for a real cent or two. It is, functionally, a private currency that the airline both prints and controls. They are running a tiny money printer, and the banks are lined up to buy the fresh currency. You will never in your life get to print money and sell it, They do it before breakfast. Now, who controls what a mile is worth? They do, entirely. The airline decides how many miles your free flight costs, and they can change that number whenever they want. This is called devaluation. You hoard 100,000 miles thinking you own something, and one quiet Tuesday they adjust the chart and suddenly your stash buys half of what it did yesterday. You saved up a currency controlled entirely by the guy you're saving it to spend against. Brilliant work, brokey. That's like keeping your savings in tokens the arcade can reprice at will. Meanwhile, back on the actual plane, they've turned you into a menu. The seat is now just the base model. Everything else is an add-on they unbundled on purpose. A bag costs extra. A seat with legroom costs extra. Boarding earlier costs extra. Picking your seat at all costs extra. This is called ancillary revenue, and it's now tens of billions of dollars a year across the industry. They made the ticket look cheap, then nickel and dimed you back to the real price. You chased the $15 cheaper flight and paid $60 in fees, They saw you coming from the runway. That cheap fare that lured you in is a trick with a name. It's a loss leader. Just like a store selling milk at cost to get you inside, the airline dangles a headline price so low it barely makes sense, because they know the profit comes after the bags, the seats, the food, and the credit card you'll sign up for at the gate. The advertised number was never the real number. It was bait. And you bit, brokey, because a big number scares you and a small number turns your brain off completely. Now let's talk about why they cram you in like livestock. Every inch of that cabin is a spreadsheet. More seats, thinner seats, less legroom means more bodies per flight, and the plane costs almost the same to fly whether you're comfortable or folded in half. The discomfort isn't an accident, it's optimization, and the misery in the back has a second job. It's an advertisement for the expensive seats up front. They make economy just painful enough that you dream of paying quadruple to escape it, Not that your broke self ever will. And the front of the plane is its own economics lesson. Business and first class can be a tiny fraction of the seats, but a huge chunk of the profit on a flight. A handful of people paying 5 or 10 times your fare quietly fund the whole trip. It's price discrimination in a metal tube. Sort the plane by what each type of passenger will pay, then charge each one right up to their limit. You're in row 34 by the toilet, subsidizing a man in a flatbed sipping champagne, brokey, and you got to watch him board first. Now, do they oversell the flight? Absolutely, and you already know why. Some passengers always no-show, so airlines sell more tickets than there are seats, betting on it, exactly like a gym sells more memberships than it has room for. Usually the math works. Occasionally, everyone shows up, and that's the poor soul getting bumped and fighting for a voucher at the gate. It's a calculated gamble with your evening as the chip read, and when it goes wrong, they hand you a coupon and call it customer service. Let me make it painfully concrete. The airline might clear a few bucks of profit flying you to another city, if that, but the credit card you signed up for earns them a cut of every purchase you make for years, plus the cash the bank paid for your miles up front. One is a razor-thin ticket. The other is a passive stream that follows you home and never stops. Guess which one they actually care about, Hint, it's not whether you enjoyed the flight. Ever notice the same flight costs a different price every time you look? That's dynamic pricing, and it's yield management on steroids. The airline's computers change the fare constantly based on how full the plane is, how soon you're flying, and how desperate you seem. Two people in the same row can pay wildly different prices for the identical seat, based purely on when and how they clicked. The seat didn't change, your desperation did. You booked last minute in a panic and paid triple. The algorithm smelled the fear right through the screen. Then there's the quiet genius of the status tiers. Silver, gold, platinum, whatever shiny metal they minted this year. They gamified loyalty. They dangle priority boarding and the dream of a free upgrade to make you fly their airline even when it costs more, just to protect your little colored card. So you start routing your whole life around chasing status, spending more to earn perks worth less than what you overpaid to get them. They turn brand loyalty into a video game, and you're grinding levels for a laminated card, brokey, treating a leash like an achievement. And ever wonder why you get shipped through some random city to reach where you're actually going? It's called hub and spoke. Instead of flying every city straight to every other city, airlines funnel everyone through a few giant hub airports and reshuffle them onto connections. It crams planes fuller and squeezes more money out of fewer flights. Efficient for them, miserable for you, sprinting across a terminal in a city you never wanted to see. Your 2-hour trip became a 7-hour ordeal with a layover because a spreadsheet decided your day. Let me undercut this before you feel too smart. Knowing all this doesn't make points worthless. Used fast, on the right redemption, before the next evaluation, miles can be a genuinely good deal. The system can be played, a little, by the disciplined. But that person reads the fine print, redeems quickly, and never hoards. That is the exact opposite of you, who collects points like a dragon and cashes them in never. Your miles are probably expiring right now, brokey, while you brag about them. So the next time you fly for free, understand the actual machine you're inside. A thin margin airline strapped to a money-printing loyalty program funded by banks, powered by your swiping, wrapped around a cabin engineered to sell you back every inch it took away. You thought you were the customer. You were the raw material the whole time. The miles were never a gift. They were the leash, and you've been proudly wearing it through the terminal.